This video was brought to you by Greenman Gaming. Click the link below to see some incredible deals on some incredible games. Have you ever played a game that's just really bad and is incredibly unfun to play and full of a bunch of dumb decisions made by the developers, and you just feel sad while playing it because underneath all of the filth, you see that this game has so much potential and could have been a way better game than it currently is? There are way too many games out there now that do this, and luckily we live in an era now where games can be patched and updated to bring out this potential and fix games. I mean, look at No Man's Sky, I can't think of any other games. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about some bad games that I've played that I think did have potential, or do have potential. You know, they're still in their era where they're still being updated and could become good games. And the first one I want to talk about is Killing Floor 3. Now, I think everyone and their mother knows that Killing Floor 3 is not a very good game. It's quite a bad game, actually. It's really bad. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Killing Floor 3 it's embarrassing. It's an embarrassing product, especially considering the quality of Killing Floor 1 and 2 beforehand, with Killing Floor 2 having more players than Killing Floor 3 currently. I'm not even that huge on Killing Floor 2, I'm a Killing Floor 1 guy, and even I can see that Killing Floor 2, even in early access when I played it, was a significantly better experience than Killing Floor 3. And that's because Killing Floor 2 still kept all the DNA of what made a Killing Floor game Killing Floor. Different perks you could change to, incredible weapons and variety with the gameplay. Every single Zed an enemy from the first game. Killing Floor 3 fucked up these fundamentals on launch. Perks were attached to characters like a hero shooter. They've patched this now, you can use perks on any other character, but why did they make this choice? I don't know. Oh, and to add on to this, an entire enemy variant wasn't even in the game at launch. The Stalkers, the invisible girls that sneak up on you and roundhouse kick you. Again, they're added in the game now. They look amazing in Killing Floor 3, but they weren't there at launch. As a whole, Killing Floor 3 felt more like an early access game than Killing Floor 2 was in early access. That is the best way I can put it, really, and it just had none of the charm of what made a Killing Floor game Killing Floor. Like, even Mr. Foster, who is like the face of Killing Floor, he wasn't Mr. Foster, right? He was a skinwalker imposter. That is not Mr. Foster, right? He doesn't even sound like Mr. Foster. He sounds like a guy trying to do a Mr. Foster impression, or an American doing a British impression. It's just embarrassing. Especially considering the voice acting from the first game, how British it was just, well, that was the Killing Floor charm, really, and Killing Floor 3 had none of that, as well as just being a pretty underwhelming game on top of that. Oh, and I can't forget the gunplay. The gunplay felt pretty bad as well, which is, you know, pretty fundamental part of a first-person shooter. It has been updated recently. They actually added an old character back, and he's voiced by the original Killing Floor 1 voice actor, which is incredible. Great move, Tripwire. You know, that's brought quite a few people back. It brought me back. I've started playing the game again. And the new map, the snowy map, very cool. They even added a new boss. Pretty good. And it makes me optimistic for the future of Killing Floor 3. I really hope they don't give up with this game and just abandon it like a lot of developers do when they have a really rough launch. I really hope Tripwire stick with this one, because I do see it becoming a really good wave-based zombie shooter. I don't see it being as good as Killing Floor 1, but I could see it being more fun than Killing Floor 2 and more replayable than Killing Floor 2. Maybe. Hopefully, maybe. Now, the next bad game I want to talk about that had a lot of potential that sadly won't be able to reach any of that potential is Lawbreakers. Do any of you remember Lawbreakers? I do. I pre-ordered Lawbreakers. I played the shit out of Lawbreakers while it was still alive, and it was better than Overwatch, man. I don't care what anyone says. Lawbreakers was ahead of its time. It was literally like a hero-based shooter like Overwatch, but it played like a boomer shooter, kinda, like Quake. It even had Mick Gordon on the soundtrack. Like, you can't get any better than that, really. Oh, and to add on to this, it had this gimmick of zero-G where you could float around certain areas of the map, and you could shoot behind you to propel yourself forwards, and you could kill players by doing this. There was a lot of skill around the gameplay of Lawbreakers. Oh, and it did something that no other hero shooter did at the time, which no one commended it for, but the characters who were the same class on the enemy team weren't just the same characters. They actually made separate characters with different personalities, different voices on each team. They were the same class, they had the same weapons, but they were actually different characters. which no one mentioned this back then. Lawbreakers was panned, right? It died on arrival because everyone was jizzing all over Overwatch. I feel like if Lawbreakers was released today with how everyone plays first-person shooters, you know, jumping around everywhere. I mean, the character Wraith in Lawbreakers is literally that. His whole gimmick is sliding around everywhere, jumping around everywhere, just being a general nuisance, and everyone plays first-person shooters like that. The kids yearn for Lawbreakers. But it's gone. Lawbreakers is gone and we're never gonna get it. We're never gonna get it again. It's just gone. I could rant about this forever, man. I loved Lawbreakers, and it's a real shame that it's dead. Even going free to play couldn't save that game, and it's a real shame because I think it had a lot of potential. The next game I want to talk about isn't a online game, and I think that is the biggest problem with it, and that is Metal Gear Survive. You guys remember Metal Gear Survive? Konami doesn't want you to remember that Metal Gear Survive exists. It does kind of feel like they made Metal Gear Survive just to shit on Hideo Kojima's legacy with the series after they kicked him out of Konami. Like, this game does feel like a spit in the face, but I can't deny it's a pretty fun survival game. Like, yeah, it basically takes all the assets from Metal Gear Solid 5 and just kind of repurposes them into a zombie survival game, but Metal Gear Survive has a really strong foundation. I really don't blame them for doing this, especially reusing the Fox engine. I mean, what else did they use that engine for? Fucking Pez? But yeah, Metal Gear Survive, it wasn't a very good game, I can't deny. I put like 34 hours into it when it came out. I did have fun with it. It was very flawed, it had a lot of issues, and it was just a zombie survival game at the end of the day. It did have a pretty fun tower defense online mode that you could play with friends, and you could get like equipment from that you could use at your own base in single player, but the biggest factor that I think ruined this game was the fact the main story wasn't online co-op. You couldn't go into the open world with a friend. You could only do the tower defense game mode with a friend, and I think that's what killed this game. If you could play through Metal Gear Survive with someone else, I think people would have enjoyed it more. I mean, yeah, prodding a bag of shit with a friend can be fun, so playing a shit game with a friend can also be fun. But I don't know, Metal Gear Survive, it was alright. It wasn't anything special, and it was kind of a massive spit in the face on Kojima's legacy with Metal Gear, and Konami definitely regret this game now. Honestly, I can't see them being proud of this game anymore, but hey, if they ever want to do a remaster for it for whatever reason or update it, add online co-op to the story mode, because that would have made it a much better game. The last game I want to talk about is Warhammer 40k Darktide, which may seem a bit confusing because Darktide is honestly one of the best co-op shooters out there right now, but that's because Fatshark, the developers, saw the potential and actually worked on it. Darktide released in a pretty bad state. It was still pretty fun, it had a really good foundation, but it ran like shit, it lacked a lot of content, and it was ultimately just kind of a shitty Left 4 Dead clone in the Warhammer universe. Like, it wasn't even as good as Vermintide, which they made beforehand and also had a much better launch, so it was looking pretty grim when Darktide launched, and it took them a while, but they started doing a bunch of different updates, like adding new abilities to the classes, adding entirely new DLC classes like the Hive Scum. Hive Scum is very fun, I love playing as a crackhead in this game. And they've even started adding new maps, like there's this World War I styled map, which is really fun. You run around the trenches just shooting a bunch of pox people. I don't remember the name of them, but it's a good time. And as of recording this video, they've recently released an entirely new game mode with a new map. It's basically like Helldivers 2, where you and 3 other people go into this like kind of semi-open map and you complete objectives, and there's a time limit, and you can go around there taking on things on your own approach. There are certain areas that require some teamwork, like throwing stuff up to each other. I don't know, it was good. It's really good. Darktide is in a really good spot right now, and I'm happy with it. I really like it. I really like it, and this is an example of a bad game that actually had that potential seen through, and you should definitely check out Warhammer 40k Darktide if you can. And I know the perfect place you can, and that's Green Man Gaming. Green Man Gaming is an incredible third-party storefront that does very frequent sales that go down to a very low price on a lot of games. For example, Darktide, as of making this, is 79% off right now, and that's about £7. That's a steal for the amount of content you're getting. Or hell, if you just want something else entirely, like The Evil Within. That game's always on sale on there for some reason, and it goes down to a stupidly low price. But yeah, check out Green Man Gaming, there'll be a link below. I highly recommend doing so if you play games on PC and you're looking for some cheap bargains to play. But anyway, this video wouldn't have been possible without my Patreon supporters. That being Nintendo Pro, Prophet, Pitstab, Bouncer Storm Productions, and Daniel Levchenko. And a huge thank you to my channel members. That being Adriel Loyong 8770, not sure if I pronounced that right, please correct me if I pronounced that wrong. Mr. Salsa 2053, J-Rash, Shake the Heavens, Imdisconcerted, NCR 8111, Courtney Williams DR9TB, Zello 007, On The Go Gaming 109, Bat DX, Zombify or Die, Eteria Sigma, Cheezer 9530, Rec 12748, Quack 29, Randomness 7550, Plates Fly 8362, Liam Talks About, Chowder 1326, Marshala 4566, Marcus Platts, Joshua Whitford 5509, Evan Underhill 2342, Bidoo for Doom, Gabriel Padro 5589, Scary 1407, Eggy 613, I don't know why I hesitated then, Wentel, Riff King 66, Dizrays 3250, Sobitax, Andreas Stewart 8871, Galaxy 11243, Glusky 36, Floaty 38, Rust on Wood, L Hayes 117, also known as some balding guy rambling into the void, also known as the guy who keeps putting off playing The Evil Within. Play The Evil Within right now. I just read your comment on the last video. You evil man, go play it. There's evil within you. There's Griefgar, and of course Resistance Line. Thank you guys so much for watching. Apart from L Hayes 117, who needs to play The Evil Within, I'm not gonna forget this until you play The Evil Within, and you best keep updating me in the comments, because I'm gonna keep a lookout. If people have no idea what the hell I'm on about right now, they probably think I've got like schizophrenia or some shit. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.